A violent night in downtown St. Louis. What we're learning from police about two separate and potentially deadly incidents.
And we're checking the radar this morning as a few storms have tracked through and more are on deck.
And we've got Eclipse fever here in the bi-state. We'll go over all the different viewing events you can attend. Today in St. Louis, Weekend Edition starts right now.
This is Today in St. Louis, focused on you.
All right, wake up, St. Louis.
Pretty.
Welcome to Sunday Fun Day. We are getting a live look at the Gateway Arch in the downtown area here in St. Louis. I mean, it must be happy because of all of the sports wins yesterday. That's probably what it's doing. It's smiling right now.
Could be.
All right, good morning to you. It is Sunday, April 7th. I'm Travis Cummings.
And I'm Tracy Hinson. Our Mercedes McKay has the weekend off. And then next weekend I'm off. So it's like a staggering mix of things. Too many of our, well, it's one of her friends who's getting married this weekend.
Good.
My sister's bachelorette is next weekend. It's nothing crazy.
As long as it's for good measure.
yeah, so we're gonna miss that. But you know, it's a house divided in the Frank house right now.
Wow, after yesterday's result?
With the eclipse forecast.
Okay.
The eclipse forecast. Gary thinks it's going to be sunny. Full disclosure, he thought this last time and it was overcast.
All right.
And I think we're gonna have more in the way of clouds than we could possibly hope for. So
well,
we'll just
I'm
have to
behind
wait
Gary.
and see. Oh, you're going with Gary because you just like that fair weather forecast. Okay, I see how it is. We'll just see how things go. You know, I sure hope Gary is right and I am incorrect. All right, the radar view, we have a few of those showers and storms that are tracking through our area. You can see most of that activity is over for our friends in Illinois this morning and a little bit over in Gasconade County. Get a lot of hay fields out that way, so that's kind of good for them. It'll help spur on that growth, especially with the heat we are expecting tomorrow. A pretty view, but as a meteorologist, I'm looking at one thing in particular in this. Look over to the Hyatt there on the left. You can see that flag. It's really blowing in the wind right now. We have some very strong winds outside. Temperature-wise, it's 53 degrees. Our sustained winds are at 20. Our gusts are up to 30. That was enough to push the car around a little bit on my drive into work. So just two hands on the wheel this morning. I'm going to go over your eclipse forecast and your rain outlook for the rest of the day.
Tracy, thank you for that first look. New this morning, we're following two potentially deadly incidents out of downtown St. Louis. The first happened just north of Windsor Park along Blair Avenue. Police say just after 1:30 this morning, a man was shot in the leg and was taken to the hospital. Then, around the same time, police say a man was stabbed in his vehicle along Riverview Drive. Now, there's no word yet on victims' conditions, but police say they're investigating both incidents as homicides. Well, this morning, two teenagers are facing charges in connection to a deadly crash in South St. Louis County Friday. Police say DeAndre Robinson and Patrick Atten were racing each other on South Broadway when Robinson lost control, left the road, and hit two construction workers. 34-year-old Chris Johnson died. His co-worker was seriously hurt and hospitalized. Both Robinson and Atten were charged with involuntary manslaughter and second-degree assault. And right now, we're working to learn more about a motorcycle crash that killed a High Ridge teenager. It happened around 10 Friday night. Highway patrols say the 17-year-old rider was driving north on Highway 141, just north of Fenton, when the bike overturned, ejecting him. Witnesses told investigators a black SUV possibly hit the teen and drove off. Anyone with any information is asked to call the Troop C headquarters at 636-300-2800. An investigation is underway after a train hit a minor in Granite City. It happened around 6:30 Friday night on the train tracks near Missouri Avenue. Officers say the victim suffered life-threatening injuries and was taken to the hospital. Right now, our newsroom is working to get an update on their condition. And this time tomorrow, folks all across the country will be preparing for the Great American Eclipse. That's right, part of the path of totality will move through southern Missouri and Illinois, blocking out the sun in cities like Cape Girardeau, Farmington, and Mount Vernon. But sightseers aren't the only ones trying to catch a glimpse of tomorrow's stellar event. Our Holden Kowicki caught up with some SIU researchers in Carbondale, Illinois. The quiet town is expecting lots of visitors tomorrow, and they say they're savoring the calm before the storm.
As the moment of totality passes over Carbondale, SIU researcher Brent Pease will be like every other person along its path.
I will be looking to the sky with my kids when this eclipse event comes through.
However, the assistant professor in the Department of Forestry will also be keeping an ear out for what's happening around him.
We have hundreds of recorders all along the path of totality across the United States.
For 48 hours before and after the eclipse, audio recordings will be used to track how animals react to the celestial event.
You know, there's been hundreds of years of written observations during eclipse. What happens to wildlife during these events? So we generally have some idea about what might happen. We typically see breeding birds quiet down. We'll see some nocturnal or crepuscular insects start to vocalize. There's some research suggesting that bees retreat to hives whenever the eclipse happens.
While the project is purely scientific, it will help establish a baseline for wildlife management that Pease says will be studied for centuries.
Yeah, it's really incredible. You know, we're basing a lot of this research that we're doing on written reports from the 1500s. So this isn't a frequent event, right? So this is a slow build, and we're just here in the right time at the right place to provide some information.
The groundbreaking work will later be used as part of a soundscape project to break down barriers surrounding the eclipse for the visually impaired.
While we're listening to the eclipse, there's a whole group of people in the United States and beyond that really can't see the eclipse the way that we are. So the Eclipse Soundscapes Project's partnering with the National Federation of the Blind as a way for them to engage and observe the eclipse through sound.
Holden Kerwicki, 5 on your side.
And this entire project is being funded by NASA. Pease says what makes this research so important is that it will be used for next 350 years, which is when this area will experience its next total solar eclipse. And as you're planning for the eclipse tomorrow, it's very important to keep safety in mind. Brandon Lewis from our National Verify team explains how scammers are trying to take advantage of your desire to see it.
On April 8th, parts of the U.S. will go dark for a few minutes in the middle of the day during a solar eclipse. It's an out-of-this-world experience, but you can hurt your eyes if you look directly at it without special glasses or a filter. But the American Astronomical Society warns scammers are selling fake gear that could damage your eyes. To keep you from getting blindsided, we went to these sources to explain how you can stay safe. First, make sure your eclipse glasses or viewers include the manufacturer's name and address and that they're ISO certified. This means that the glasses meet international safety standards. Of course, it's easy for a scammer to just print that on. So next, inspect your glasses. Look for any punctures, tears, or other damage. Then, try on your glasses. You should only be able to see the outline of a bare light bulb. The American Astronomical Society recommends purchasing equipment from its list of reputable retailers and avoiding third-party sites like eBay or Amazon Marketplace. If you want to skip buying glasses but still want to see the eclipse, you can make a pinhole projector using items around your home. You can find instructions to make a projector using the links at verifythis.com. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
As always, if you've got a question you'd like us to verify, send us an email to verify@ksdk.com. And if you're not able to get outside tomorrow, we've got you covered here at 5 on your side. Tune in to our live coverage along the path of totality tomorrow from 1 until 2:30. You can also stream it on the 5+ app. Coming up, a busy week of coverage from your commute to the court. We'll go over some of your top stories to keep an eye out for this week. Plus, 3 times the turnout. We'll catch up with fans from yesterday's Triple Sports Day in downtown St. Louis.
And get those running shoes laced up. Here's your running forecast for you. Anytime this is up, you can scan that QR code for your local race information. 66 degrees today by 2 o'clock.